Hello everybody and welcome to Parks Bros. It's Drew here, and today for Listmas 2022 and specifically day 5, I'm going to be joined by my good friend Scott from Exploring Attractions as we count down our top 10 dark rides.
What's up everybody, it's Scott here from Exploring Attractions. I'm super excited to be all part of this Listmas that Drew from Parks Bros got going on. This is the first year that I'm doing it, so I'm excited to be sharing with you guys some of my top dark rides. And some of these on the list you guys may be shocked about. One in specific is definitely an underdog, but I'm excited to share them all with you. So with that being said, let's get into the Listmas video for our top dark rides. Alright, so first and foremost, we're going over to the East Coast over at Disney's Animal Kingdom for Dinosaur. Now, Dinosaur is such a fun attraction, and a big reason why I love Dinosaur so much is because it packs that scare aspect into the attraction. Now, if you know me, I'm a big horror lover, as most people are in the theme park world, and I love going to haunt events and whatnot. That's a big reason why I like Dinosaur, because it's absolutely terrifying. The Carnotaurus, seeing him a bunch of different times throughout the attraction and seeing the way they bring him to life, or she, we don't know. Has anyone debunked that quite yet? But regardless, the big finale one, if and when it works, is absolutely terrifying. It makes for a perfect photo opportunity because that's literally when they flash you with the photo. And I think that's a big reason why I think Dinosaur is on my list, is because of the different aspects, including that photo. Disney just set up the camera so perfectly right there when you're getting absolutely terrified. And I definitely have my fair share of terrifying faces all the times I've been on it.
Coming in at number 9 is a brand new dark ride to me as of this year. It's Gobbler Getaway at Holiday World in Santa Claus, Indiana. This ride is just so charming and classic and family friendly that I had to put it into this list somehow. And while technically I don't think it's the most impressive dark ride in the world or anywhere near that, it's still a heck of a lot of fun and very cute. This ride takes you on a chase of the Great Gobbler Getaway, trying to round up all the turkeys in time for Thanksgiving. And it even features a pre-show with an animatronic of Granny trying to tell you the story of the Great Gobbler Getaway. The ride itself is filled with tons of bright sets, as well as some really fun interactions between different props throughout the ride. And of course, even better interaction with some of those shooting elements. This ride is very cute, very fun, and takes a new spin on Thanksgiving, as they don't celebrate with eating a turkey. They celebrate with eating a pepperoni pizza.
Up next is, of course, one that I'm sure is on everyone's list who's been on it, which is Star Wars Rise of the Resistance at Disney's Hollywood Studio in Florida and Disneyland in California. There's no sugarcoating it. This is probably one of the best dark rides out there. I mean, from storytelling within the pre-show, the queue, leading you all the way up to you actually board the vehicle. It has everything that you could imagine. It's the full package. All the cast members are super interactive, acting like they're guards or acting like they're trying to help you escape these guards. It is awesome. And really, you're entertained even with it being still 25 to 30 minutes until you actually board the ride vehicle. And by that, I mean with the pre-show, with you moving in the little cruiser, transporting you to the base, where of course you see the dreaded First Order and you encounter Kylo Ren on a screen, but at least you encounter him. I think Rise of the Resistance is one of those rides that's going to open up a lot of minds to the theme park world on what exactly they're looking for when they bring a dark ride. And I hope sometime in the near future that one of these parks that doesn't get enough love, that should get enough love, like a park in the Midwest or maybe even like a park in Texas, somewhere around there, delivers an attraction similar to the technology level of Rise of the Resistance, and as well as the storytelling level, because remember, you don't need a big IP to bring an attraction to life. But I think it goes without saying that Rise of the Resistance is definitely one of the best dark rides out there.
Hopping to Disneyland, which I'm sure is going to be a very common thing on this list. We're going to ride Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, located in the Fantasyland section of the park. This classic dark ride takes notes from Ichabod and Friends as you find yourself in the shoes, or rather the car, of Mr. Toad. You'll travel from your library in your manor to the countryside to even London and hell and back. But Mr. Toad's personally is my favorite of all of the Fantasyland dark rides, of which all of them are absolute staples in the industry. But Mr. Toad to me just has the most engaging story, as you are truly in the shoes of Mr. Toad, and every single scene is packed to the brim with different set design and some awesome lighting. And also, unlike its closest neighbor, it is quite a bit longer in duration. So if you're at Disneyland for the first time, make sure you get on Mr. Toad's. It is not to be slept on in the entire Fantasyland gauntlet.
For our next one, we have one that's been around for quite some time now at both Universal Orlando Resort and Universal Studios Hollywood, and that goes to Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. If you think about the concept of this attraction, it was very ambitious. How exactly would this work out? Especially considering the fact that this is rumored to be the same ride system, if not a level up, for the anticipated Universal Monsters Land that may open up in Epic Universe in 2025. That being an arm that you sit on and it kind of moves you around to different scenes. Nobody really knew how this would work out, but with the storytelling aspect of Harry Potter, it works out a whole lot because they're able to simulate you flying while moving these different screens wherever you're going. And not only does it combine the screens, but it also combines the physical and practical effects. You have the giant dragon that you encounter and it's blowing steam at you and it's hot steam, so it kind of goes in with that storytelling aspect. You have the giant tree that as the tree moves, it's launching your ride vehicle into a different screen. And then of course you encounter the Dementors, which has that scary aspect to it. Like I said before, I love that scare aspect in any theme park type of thing. And of course, just like Rise of the Resistance, the queue theming, the certain level that it's on, is unmatched. I mean, this entire queue, you're looking at things. And, with Rise of the Resistance, you're entertained between 20 to 30 minutes before you actually board the ride vehicle. Well, with Forbidden Journey, you're actually entertained throughout the entire thing. There's so many different Easter eggs. There's so many different things to discover in Hogwarts Castle, which makes it to where you're not as bored waiting in an hour-long wait. But those are all reasons that Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey comes in on this list.
Visiting Disneyland once again for number 5, we're going to go towards Toontown to Roger Rabbit's Cartoon Spin, what I believe is the most underrated dark ride probably ever. This ride takes a more traditional approach yet again in its set design and style, but it cranks it up a couple notches with the fact that you can spin it like a top. That's right, a dark ride and a teacup ride had a baby with this attraction, and I gotta mention the incredible sets all around you. There are some stunning illusions that still work so well to this day, and we can't forget about that amazing queue, which has plenty of different moments of movement and interaction within the story. But I truly think this ride is fantastic all around and a must ride at the Disneyland Resort.
Of course, I couldn't include Dinosaur without including Indiana Jones over at Disneyland. Same ride system, same everything. Actually, some of the track layout is practically the same. And with Indiana Jones, you can argue which one's better. Obviously, they're offering two different things in Indy and Dinosaur, but they're just both equally as good in my opinion. I mean, Indy is a classic. It's been around for a while at Disneyland. And typically, it's a lot of people's favorite ride when they first visit there. This all goes back to the same thing. If you notice, a lot of these rides on my list in specific have all the different elements. They have the queue, they have the storytelling, they have everything. And although the queue for Indy isn't as detailed and as fun as I think that some of these other queues are, because it feels like you're walking for miles and miles and miles, or as the Jungle Cruise might say right next to it, Niles and Niles and Niles. I think what makes up for it is the attraction station, how it gets you excited. It brings that adrenaline up for what's about to come. And then, of course, you turning the corner, whipping the corner as soon as you go up that first little lift hill, and then seeing the massive room, seeing the flames, seeing the snake. I think everything about it is amazing. This is a little bit more different with Dinosaur, because in Dinosaur you're more, tight turns, you don't know where you're going, you're in small little rooms, and although Indy brings those tight turns and the whipping aspect to it, you're still in a larger scale room, seeing tons of different things, and odds are, if you only rode it once, you missed a couple things because you were looking in a different direction, or you're distracted by the snake, and maybe there was something that you missed on your left-hand side. And of course, at the end, you get that amazing boulder scene when it actually works out, where it leaves you questioning how exactly is that boulder coming at me without actually hitting me. Not to mention the fact that you get to see Indy all throughout the ride, and I do hope that this gets a much needed refurbishment. It is closing down in January and it won't open up until spring. However, I'd love to see them do like one of those big refurbishments where they change a whole bunch of stuff. They fix some of the animatronics, the Indy animatronics in there. They finally fix the boulder scene to where it actually works every time you're on it. And maybe they even find a fix onto why it breaks down so much.
At number 3, we're going to head over to Buena Park, California for Knott's Berry Farm's own Calico Mine Ride. This attraction takes you on a mine train through the Calico silver and gold mine that neighbors Calico Ghost Town. This attraction opened originally in 1960 and changed the trajectory of this park forever. Why is that, you may ask? Well, this ride had a lot of firsts, including a hidden queue and a massive central scene that takes over multiple different parts of the ride, as well as plenty of indoor waterfalls, caves, and more. It truly feels like you're in the real Calico mine, and that's not to forget the amazing animatronics that are absolutely everywhere you look. This ride has some excitement, and it even goes up a lift hill before heading back down to the station, and that's without mentioning a couple of the surprises in between. The Calico Mine Ride is an amazing attraction, and everyone should check this out at some point in time.
Well, let's get into another dark ride on this list, which is an underdog one. I don't think a lot of people have it on their list, but keep in mind, with a bunch of these rides, it's solely because of the ones that I have the most fun on, and not in retrospective, if I'm ranking it on a point system, what is the best dark ride. So my next dark ride goes to Knott's Berry Tales at Knott's Berry Farm. And like I said, lots of you guys are probably scratching your head on why this is on my list. But let me tell you why. It's because Knott's has done an excellent job at just bringing the entire park into this one set story. Bringing back the old Knott's history, bringing back the whole Ghost Town story. Everything that Knott's is doing right now is near perfect with their storytelling aspect here, deeping into their roots of Knott's Berry Farm. And one of those things would be Berry Tales. Berry Tales was an attraction way back when, and them announcing that they're going to bring it back in a new kind of refreshed scene made for a lot of fans to be a lot more excited. And they definitely delivered between the cave scene and the different theming throughout it. I think that it's really succeeding at Knott's Berry Farm. Now, keep in mind, there's never a long line for it typically, and I don't know why. Maybe that's just because it's a shooting attraction and people aren't as big as fans as big roller coasters like Hang Time and Ghost Rider. But at least for me, who really loves everything about theme parks, between dark rides, coasters, everything, I think that this is one of the perfect dark rides for me. It's got that fun, cartoony feel to it too. And with the shooting aspect, I love being on those rides, being able to compete with my friends. It's a whole lot of fun. I think that's one thing that they could tweak a little bit and maybe change the blasters that they're using, because they're a little bit of a pain, especially after like the first couple rooms. But the theming makes up for it, and the fact, like I said, they're theming it back to that Knott's history, and they did it very, very well. The colors in there are a lot of fun. The entry sign with the gear spinning, and you see all the pies and everything, is a whole lot of fun. And that's why Knott's Berry Tales makes this list, and it's honestly one of my attractions I have the most fun on at any theme park. Especially considering the fact that it doesn't take up a whole lot of space, and they can literally put these dark rides anywhere, and I'd love to see more theming and detail on this level at different theme parks, since it is cheaper to put in theme parks, and like I said, it doesn't take up a bunch of space. Heck, maybe even SeaWorld can jump on that train, because I feel like that's what they need after opening up Arctic Rescue next year. But of course, we all know the history with SeaWorld dark rides, especially with SeaWorld Orlando.
Coming in at number 1, we're going to head to Orlando, Florida for Universal's Islands of Adventure and the amazing Spider-Man. Oh my goodness, Spider-Man is an attraction that everyone should do. This dark ride is located in the Marvel Superhero Island area of the park, right next to the Incredible Hulk coaster as well as Dr. Doom's Fearfall, and to me it eclipses both of those rides combined. If there was ever a ride to bring you straight into a comic book, it's this one. Everything jumps off the page with beautiful set design, incredible screen projections, and integrating those projections with real life. It also really helps there's crazy dynamic movement with the vehicle that really helps sell that you're running all around Manhattan trying to stop those evildoers. Spider-Man was an instant classic for me and pretty much my favorite ride in the park. And while yes, it's been open for over 20 years now, it still is a technological marvel. And that's why it's number 1 on this list. So what do you think? Do you agree with our top 10 dark rides? Make sure to let us know down in the comments below and tell us your favorite dark ride. Of course, while you're down there though, make sure to check out the links down below in the description. And of course, the link to Scott's channel. Get him to 10,000 subscribers. He just crossed the 9,000 mark, which congrats, Scott. Absolutely amazing job. But speaking of which, I'll hand it off to him.
I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you guys watch the rest of Drew's series here because he's doing a great job with Listmas and bringing all the creators together. As always, my name is Scott from Exploring Attractions. You can find me on youtube.com/Exploring Attractions and on practically every social media page, Exploring Attractions. And of course, I'm popping up in Drew's vlogs here and there, especially when he comes down to San Diego, and especially when we all get to go on an Arctic rescue retreat. Can't wait for that video to come out. Like I said, everybody, my name is Scott from Exploring Attractions, and peace out.
Yeah, I definitely can't wait to ride Arctic Rescue with you. It's going to be absolutely amazing. And heck, maybe we'll get to check out another dark ride that's opening up very soon at Universal and add it on to next year's list. We'll see. But I wanted to say thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And of course, there is going to be more Listmas coming, so make sure to subscribe. But until day 6 of Listmas, we'll see you on the next ride.